All right, hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy once again, and if you guys notice, I'm not using my usual "what is going on, everybody," yada yada yada, because as the title of our episode suggests, this is 100% no cap, 100% no script. I could have said 100% no filtered or no filter rather, but this is a family-friendly podcast, so bawal magcuss and all that, and I strive to keep it that way. Even though there have been times I've been tempted to drop some cuss bumps. But with that out of the way, yeah, this is gonna be just a wala lang episode, or hindi naman wala lang, but super free flowing freestyle, not your usual structure. And I know my mom hates that because she likes the typical outline and all that. And to each his or her own. And to my credit, I've been following the outlines like crazy. But for this episode, kwentuhan lang tayo, guys. And by the way, this is not live, even though it says on your Facebook time lives and YouTube that it's a premiere or it's live. This is 100% pre-recorded. Uh, I'm just trying to use the premiere function because, as you guys can see naman sa previous episodes, palaging panalo si internet, like I always keep getting disconnected. So it was fun. It was fun trying out the live setup, pero di na kinaya eh. So we're gonna have to settle with pre-recorded stuff, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna continue conversing anymore. If anything, we gotta keep that going pa rin. But yeah, expect some pre-recorded stuff from now on. Who knows? You might see me back live again, but for the meantime, we'll just have to settle with what we have. All right. So, guys, what is this episode about, and why did exactly am I going solo this time? In fact, this is my first solo episode for season two. Crazy, right? I haven't had much solos besides, the debut, of course, my birthday, and of course, the year end one. So this is my fourth solo, all in all. Um, yeah, I actually don't know what exactly to talk about because, to be honest, sobrang tinamad ako mag-podcast ngayon. Just because, ang daming pangyayari at nangyayari sa bahay or just everywhere. But, since we all know naman that it's been a year since the Roro hit us. Well, not really a year because it's been around for a long time, but you know, it's been 1 year since uh, we were all stuck in quarantine. So yeah, happy anniversary, guys. So I guess perfect timing to have this episode. Uh, you know, just to see how y'all are doing. Quick kamustahan lang tayo and all that. And usually my episodes go for so long, but this is one of those rare episodes na first of all, walang structure. So even my intro and outro, wala yan muna. Like, let's just focus on uh 100% raw, okay? It doesn't mean when I do those type of formats and scripts, I'm not original anymore. If anything, I am. But if you want to talk raw or unscripted talaga, ito yun. So, I'm just gonna uh, go on some usual, or not usual, but on some unusual ramblings and all that. Don't worry, this isn't gonna be a fully venting episode, but it's just good to check where we are right now. And I just got some few uh, important things to tell y'all, okay? So, guys, as you guys can notice, I hardly post now, Like, usually you'd see me here every Saturday night, but, you know, I have a life. I have a life, man. And whether it's catching up with family, even though we see each other almost every single day, whether it's catching up on the errands. I have a lot of errands to do here at home and all that. And then, of course, with work, I got some new responsibilities. I'm not gonna disclose naman, but you guys get the point naman, right? Like, my life outside of podcasting has been pretty busy, which is why you won't really be seeing me as much. Just like a quick forewarning and a quick apology to y'all if I become inconsistent with my uploads. I mean, I hate to say that because I'm the type that wants to post as much as I can, but with all these new responsibilities so far in the first quarter of the year or so, I'm gonna have to have some Saturdays off. Kung kaya ng katawan, kung kaya ng willpower, then by all means, I'm gonna try to squeeze in episodes. But if I take these quick mental breaks, uh, there goes your warning. So again, major apologies to everybody who may be wondering, oy, but di nag-upload tong si Delro every week. Like what happened to, oh, I'm gonna cater to my audience. I still do, but like there's just so much on my plate. You know what I'm saying? So, some my podcasting schedules will have to take a back seat. Although, you know, hopefully I begin adjusting because to be honest, I think I'm really enjoying where I'm at right now. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but I think sa dami ng adjustments that I've had to deal with this past for the start of 2021, I think I'm able to cope well. I'm able to keep up. So, who knows? You might see me regularly uploading again, and I hope to get to that point because, even though podcasting is like super tiring in itself, it feels like there's some days it feels like work, guys. I'm not gonna lie. From setting up the OBS to editing, it kind of feels like a second job for me already. But I actually have fun. I still have fun doing this. Never ako nagsasawag gumawa ng mga videos and all that. It's just there are just days where I'm just so tired, guys. Like you just don't know. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that. I'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, I just want to give a quick apologies or a quick sorry uh to my listeners. I really hope I can pick it back up and we'll find a way, guys. Carry lang. But if there are some Saturdays na wala ako or I'm not uploading as often, there's a reason, guys. Yeah, 2021, the start of it at least, so much adjustments, and I'm not complaining though. I'm not the type to be like, uh, bakit ang daming kailangan gawin and all that. Like I know naman that's part of life. So amidst me being tired and all that, hopefully I adjust soon, and I know I will. I know I'm more than capable, and I'm sure you guys are as well. And yeah, I just I just look forward, being in the set because this is still what I love doing. Even though it can be tiring at times and all that, I still cannot go a weekend without a pod, even though I've missed 2 weeks already. But yeah, we'll figure things out uh, as we go along. So now that I'm done uh, with all that stuff, talking about real life stuff, I guess let's get on with some of the things that I just want to get off my chest. I'm not here to rant or anything, but I got to get some stuff off my chest. So, as y'all know, it's been a year. Ano na guys, kamusta? Kamusta tayo? I mean, even though this is pre-recorded, comment away. How's life been treating you? Crazy, no? How in a blink of an eye, like the life as we used to know it was taken away from us. And I think as much as we got to keep ourselves healthy physically and all that, and that is definitely valid and true. I think one of the recurring issues this past year has brought us really is more mental. So I guess I just want to talk about self love and why it's really important. And I guess there's a part where I'm gonna spill a little bit of tea. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Because I see it a lot. I see it on Twitter. I see it on Freedom Wall. I see it everywhere online. There's so many people that are struggling right now, and rightfully so. I totally understand, bro. I'm not the type to be like, oh, problema niya yun. Like, no, I definitely uh sympathize and empathize with every single one of y'all that's going through rough patches right now, because I had that. I've been there, like early stage of quarantine. Uh, I was a train wreck, literally and figuratively. Like that was a point in time where I was really struggling to just and sorry for my French. I was struggling to get my shit together. And I know I said I'm not gonna cuss because it's not my thing, but this is a 100% no cap episode, right? So again, quick forewarning in case I go out of character, cuss a little bit. My apologies. Of course, I'll try to control since I understand that we have a family-friendly audience. So uh, I'm a control, I promise. But if I slip up once in a while, uh, major apologies. All right. But going back, you know, early stages of quarantine, I just didn't know what the hell was going on. Like I was scrambling uh, to get my bearings. Of course, it robbed us of so many things, like meeting with a lot of friends, even though I don't have much, just meeting with people in general. Traveling, obviously. Um, and of course, trying out new stuff that you wanted to do initially. Like I know I had this podcast and I never thought I'd be doing this, but before I found myself here in this home studio, I had so many dreams laid out to begin that year, 2020. You won't even say that year, bro. Let's not say that year. You don't do that here, bro. We still haven't recovered from the previous March. You know what I'm saying? So let's not even mention that uh not really forbidden, but that awful year. But yeah, obviously I was struggling. I went through some shit. I won't disclose anymore what, like that's my own thing. And I don't want to disclose too much either because I don't want to be an attention grabber. Like that's just not me. Even though you guys will justify, oh, you gotta disclose some stuff. I just don't want to, just because I'm not comfortable, and I just I just want to figure this stuff out on my own. But what I do want to tell you guys though, if there's one thing, uh, if you compare me March of last year to March of right now, and I was just telling this to my fam, over the dinner table, I am in a much more stable situation. I'm in a much better state of mind right now. And before you guys say, "Oh, ang insensitive mo naman," and all, like, you know what? That's not being toxic positive. That's not being tone deaf. It's just me figuring out uh, certain things. And to those that are still not yet on that stage, I once again 100% sympathize with y'all. And kakayanin natin to, guys. We're gonna get through this. I've had my battles. I've already overcome them. So for you guys who are wondering, bakit ako di pa sa acceptance stage? Why am I not fully stable, mentally speaking? My word of advice is y'all are gonna get there. I 100% believe in y'all. Uh, you guys are gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Yes, sorry, because uh, apparently my mom hates it kapag sinasabi ko kayo. So I'll be more inclusive. After all, we are the Del bros and sisters, right? So we're gonna get through as a community, as a family. I may have already reached my state of contentment, but you guys are gonna get there too. And I'm sure it's hard to explain. Like, what made you happy in this 1 year? Sa dami na nangyayari, right? It's hard to believe this guy is actually happy with where he is right now. Yeah, I don't blame you guys if you're as puzzled as I initially was, but I don't know. There's just some sense of peace. I'm just at peace right now with where I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just hard to explain. I'm not I'm not no clinical psychologist or anything like that. I'm just I'm just happy, you know. Of course, I'm not happy with the row of course. I'm not happy about that. Like who would be, right? Can you imagine? But in terms of like just my personal life, like even though it's been a struggle this past year, like I'm just so satisfied, happy, and it's like wala akong pagkukulang, bro. I think that was one of the reasons why I was uh so down on myself last year. Like I was looking too much at things that I didn't have. I totally forgot to appreciate the things that I already have, you know? So I guess word of advice, and this will take a while, you know, if you guys have difficulty being grateful for your situation, it's totally okay. Like I promise y'all. It was hard for me at first, but you know, someone struggle dyan, whether it's work, whether it's online class, whether it's trying to patch up some things within the family, you guys are gonna get there. You know, I 100% believe in y'all. Kayo pa or tayo pa. Like we've been through worse. Yeah, we've been through worse. Like we're gonna get there. So yeah, that's just me. A quick recap of the 1 year that was. And again, if you wanna object, if you wanna disagree and all that, I'm fine with it. You know, uh, just don't send me any hate messages and all that. Let's be nice, let's be civil. You know, ang daming bad news sa labas. Let's try to affect positive energy. All right. So yeah, mentally, I'm just here, bro. Back then, I was way below the surface, but now I just feel so much better, so much more satisfied. Yeah, that's all I can say. Um, I guess the next thing I want to mention is, you know, social media. I mean, since this is 100% no cap, it's time to expose social media, guys. And this ties back to my reasons of discontent or my feelings of discontentment and situational depression and all that. You know, before new normal was ever a thing, uh, the problem with social media kasi is it became an avenue for comparing. So, you know, I don't wanna I don't wanna name drop. Ayoko magpatama. It's just, you know, observations as an outsider, as a user of these apps. You know, you see people posting accomplishments like, oh, I was first honor. Oh, I got to travel to this place. Oh, in a few months, uh, it's gonna be my marriage. Oh, naka-deal ako. Oh, look at me. I'm heading to this country for my masters. You know, ang dami, no? It's like self-glorification at its finest, you know. And you know, to each his own. Like I can't stop you guys. Like, of course, ako pa, right? I'm supportive. I'm super supportive of everyone. You know, whatever your goals are, whatever accomplishments you've achieved, proud of y'all. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna be that jealous friend that's like, oh, sana all and all that. Nah, that ain't me. That's not me, man. Like, it's not me at all to be jealous. Maybe back then I'm like, oh, man, I wish I had a fraction of success that this person is having right now. That would be me. And sometimes I'd have that, you know. Bakit siya ipapakasal na? Why does this guy have a house at 20 something and I'm still living in uh the parental's home for X number of years, right? So the comparisons will be there, you know, with social media. But I think if there's one thing the past year has taught us, first of all, cherish your victories, tiny victories. Like for me, you know me naman, diba? Like K-pop stan, right? That was a huge ass victory. For some, it's like, so what if he's a K-pop stan? Like, pake ko dyan, right? But for me, it's like, wow, I actually enjoy K-pop, you know? Back then, I was a skeptic of that shit. But now I'm like, I have so many posters, so many merch, and you saw me naman, diba? Dami kong dance covers. Like, I'm sure you guys are like, what the heck is this guy doing, Making a fool out of himself. But for me, those are huge wins, And first of all, they just make me happy, man. Like I said earlier, like just K-pop alone, it's made me so much happier, so much more stable, and literally have no regrets. So, yung tipong ganon na, oh, I was able to discover a new genre, or there's so many other little victories that we don't pay attention so much because, Facebook and IG want you to be tunnel visioned into the bigger achievements and all that, right? But just the mere fact that me and some of the people I know love K-pop, that's already a huge win. Such a huge win. And speaking of K-pop, I saw that poll. Don't worry, guys, we're gonna make it happen. Maybe not now, not right away, because as I said, I have a life. But at the same time, I gotta give the people what they want. So that K-pop podcast is coming soon. Yeah, just a quick PSA before I head on back to the topic. But yeah, that K-pop. Oh, it's a name suggestion, but the K-pop podcast is coming soon. But anyways, going back, tiny victories are super important to cherish. Uh, it's hard to list down, no, because we hardly pay attention to them. But buying your own stuff for Shopee, making your own bed, fixing your bed, that's already a win. It's a huge ass win. Uh, Cooking your first dinner. I mean, quick shout out to my brother, by the way. He's made lunch and dinner for us on certain occasions, and yeah, hopefully you can start cooking again because yeah, your food's really good, bro. But yeah, tiny stuff like that or minor stuff that seem minor but deep down are major, especially now during this season. And if there's one thing the season uh delivered, or if there's one thing that this quarantine season brought to us, it's the fact that these tiny victories, quote unquote, become major wins. Getting 8 hours of sleep, that's a major victory right there. That's a major accomplishment. I've heard of so many people's body clocks getting messed up during the normal situation, but not that we're in new normal, that now that we're, stuck at home. I've noticed some people, sleeping earlier than usual. That's a win, and I salute y'all for following a nice sleep schedule. Losing weight, that's a major ass W. You know, Quick story, and I hope I'm not bragging. I just want to share. I'm not here to brag, I'm just here to share, okay? And guys, feel free to share also in the comment section. What were some of your minor but major victories in this 1 year anniversary of the you know what? But for me, you know, no cap, guys. I was 200 pounds, super fat, chubby cheeks, and all that. Fast forward to a year, and I'm a good light 180. And I'm sure for many, oh, whole year, 20 pounds lang. What's the big deal? Right? But for me, that's a huge win because, for one, uh, I'm living healthier. No diet needed, guys. I still got to eat the food that I wanted to eat, and the fact that I lost a good chunk of weight despite not even having a strict diet. That's a major W. And I guess, besides that, self-love talaga. And I'm not losing weight to impress y'all or to deprive myself of stuff. I just, live healthy, diba? Especially now. So it's another element of self-love that keeps me going. So yeah, that was another major victory for me. The weight loss. And for those na gusto magpapayat, kaya natin to, guys. Like, Team Bill Bill for the win. We're gonna get there. All right. I still consider myself fat sometimes. So to all those who can relate with me, we're gonna get through this, guys. We're gonna pull through. We're gonna get the bodies we want without having to compromise our love for food. Although, of course, moderation lang. But we're still gonna eat the stuff that we want. All right, don't worry about that. So yeah, I know, guys. I know I'm all over the place, but again, this is 100% no cap, 100% no filter, 100% no script. So social media, I guess, and it's easy to say stop comparing because if anything, that the stop comparing advice doesn't help at all because it just makes you more jealous. It really does. But I guess if there's a piece of advice I can give to those who may be feeling slighted, who may be feeling these people are more accomplished than I am at the same age or even younger. Uh, my advice for y'all is you don't know what they're going through. Like, similar to you, they got some shit to handle themselves. We all got shit to deal with. So, you know, it doesn't mean that they post good stuff all the time. No, it's all rainbows and butterflies. They got to go through some deep shit uh, that they just don't want to share, and that's fine because no one wants to share their problems online. Who does, right? Although if you do, uh, major kudos. But yeah, to each his own. But that's all I wanted to say. Hindi nyo lang alam kung ano yung pinagdadaanan ng mga taong to who seem more successful, quote unquote, than the average person. Lesson is basically we all got problems. We all got shit to deal with. So yeah, I know I've said the S word so many times, and I promise you, rest of the way, no more cussing. I'll try, but nah. In all seriousness, I don't just say these cuss words just for the sake of lang ha. Like as my brother would always defend me from from my super Christian parents, although my dad's okay with it to be honest. I only cuss kapag I'm trying to prove a point, all right? It's not just random like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm trying to prove a point, that's when I'm gonna unleash. But for the remainder of this EP, I'll try not to. Yeah. But yeah, social media can be a trap. It is a trap and it will always be a trap. You don't know what these guys are going through. So, as hard as it is to not compare, they also have problems of their own. And, I guess this leads me to another important point. Uh, I know the term social distancing has been a common terminology, but if there's one thing we shouldn't social distance ourselves from, it is social distancing against the reality of the outside world. Like, uh, guys, as my dad would always say, let's not be too comfortable in our bubbles. Let's help out the best way we can, and this doesn't limit ourselves to physical help because of course we have to practice such protocols. But for some reason, parang mas mental yung kailangan ng generation na ito compared to, of course, physical health. Well, of course, I don't want to undermine the importance of physical health, but for some reason, mental health is like the bigger issue now, or it's equal at least. It's equal to the current health crisis. So let's not sit there and be like, oh, nag-aarte lang to. Like, my problems are way more important than his. Like, let's not do that, guys. Let's not do that. If there's one thing the pandemic taught us, every problem matters. No matter how quote unquote minor it is to major, like you may have lost someone, you may have failed a quiz. In my case, you may have gotten rejected. I've been there. Whether old normal, new normal, whether we go back to normal, that's gonna be a common that's gonna be a common result. Like at this point I've expected myself to get rejected a lot of times. So whether it's that, uh whether you've had to take a pay cut, Whether you injured yourself, that can still be a thing if you're an athlete. Uh, Whether you've had canceled trips and stuff like that, no problem is greater than the other. And I totally believe that. Back then, you're like, oh, uh, the privileged can't afford to go through stuff because they have been given so much. That's a huge lie, guys. That's a huge lie. Of course, we sympathize with those who may not be as lucky than others. Like we have, they have much more greater problems, and that's totally true. That's totally true. That's still the case. But I guess that was noticeable during the pre-normal setup. But now that everyone's going through this cycle of quarantine and being isolated, every problem matters, no matter how big or small. They all have equal bearing. They all have equal weight because we're all affected one way or another. Like no matter how quote unquote tiny that problem is, uh, especially for a super duper sensitive, sad boy guy like me, uh, these type of problems, they can linger for how many days and weeks. Although to my credit, I've been trying to get over certain things quickly, and I think, like I said earlier, I'm in a much better state. I really am. But for those who are not, and no matter what your problems are, do know that they matter, and you need to check. You need to get that checked up quick. And the only way to do that is if you seek help. And for those who, uh, for those who heard certain people's pleas for help, don't ignore them. Let's not be. Uh, I don't know if there's a cuss word, but let's not be pa-apple, guys. Wag tayo mag, wag tayo pa-apple, especially now in this time. Let's help. And I'm not saying give the answers right away, huh? Like that does not what help the person out mean. Like of course if you have the answers, so much the better, but if the person is just asking you to lend you his ears just for a second, by all means do it. Yeah. Tomorrow's never promised. You never know when life's gonna shoot back at you. Help the person regardless of his situation. He'll deeply, truly thank you for it. All right. So, yeah, those are just some points. And I guess one of my final points, since it's 30 minutes, and I don't want to go an hour again just rambling. I really want to enjoy my Friday. I want to hop on the consoles real quick. But last but not the least, there's 100% no cap. Enjoy the time when you have with your family. Because for someone like me, age 20 something, and to most of my demographics, since I notice most of the people that listen to my show are aged 18 to 28. If you're feeling frustrated now, you're still living with your family, you're not moving out yet, you're not married yet, that's fine. Because I sometimes get those. I'm not the type like, oh, don't have those problems. Like, nah, you gotta. Or I totally understand y'all. I feel y'all if you have those type of uh feelings. Pero yung sa akin, uh, you're gonna have to leave this nest soon. As sad as it is, it may be sooner than others. It may be later. Like at this point, I won't be surprised if I end up in my mama's crib until 30. Like at this point, if I'm living in my parents' house till 30 or 35, I would not be surprised. And actually, believe it or not, my cousin Gio, like shout out to Gio, he was a guest on the show. And he is a medical frontliner too, so we got to give all of y'all major shout outs for holding it down. Uh, he's still living in his mama's house. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to leave this place soon, whether we like it or not. But the important thing is to know your season. And again, try not to compare. And I guess stay ready. Stay ready. Yes, definitely. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm living in my 20s. The Roro robbed me of pretty much the prime of my life. Usually, this is the time where you're headed out. You're exploring new things, right? And I guess I want to share a little bit what my parents told me when I was feeling so depressed. Like I said early on, I was just a total train wreck, and my dad just had the ultimate bomb explanation. The reason why they're not as anxious, they're not as uh, hard pressed right now with this Roro situation is they got to live out their 20s the way they wanted to. You know, my mom and dad, nakapag-MA sila, nakapag-travel sila in their 20s. Obviously, they got married, and they got kids. They got all this stuff. My dad's still working, my mom's still working. Basically, they've experienced it all. And, I don't want to say this, but they're on the heels of retirement. Like a couple of years time, they're gonna be on the way out. They're gonna be enjoying the Lolo and Lola life. So they got to experience the stuff that we're currently being robbed of right now. Like, to be honest, I was so looking forward to trying to test the waters of living alone, of finding love, and all that. But in the snap of a finger, nawala yun because of the Roro. You know, we're stuck here. Every single day is anxiety filled, and it just robbed us. This whole year robbed us of so many things that we wanted to do, that we've planned ahead of time. And that was the root of my situational depression. Like, I was so looking forward to doing so many things, and the fact that I was robbed of it, the fact that, my prime years, quote unquote, will be spent here in this unit. I don't want to say unit, but, just to explain my point, spending the peak years of my life, I'm supposed to just live it out and YOLO. I'm spending it here lang at home. Like, that is just messed up. I even saw a tweet nga, like, oh, I can't wait to vibe in the club with 15-year-olds when I'm 30 something. That's actually a possibility. Like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I get to see my K-pop concerts when I'm 40. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but it could happen. It could happen. We don't know when this is gonna end, bro. We don't know. So it's frustrating. You're so young. You wanna experience so many things, but the Roro just robbed you of that. You have to spend majority of your younger years here at home when you can be spending it trying to figure out what you want to do and all that. That's tough. And that's why I understand why a lot of us right now are going through some troubling situations, troubling times. I don't disclose it. I know my two siblings, and hopefully we have an episode soon, and we will. Don't worry about it. But my brother in particular, he loves disclose certain things. My sister sometimes. Me, I just keep quiet, but I've gone through some stuff. I just don't disclose it because I don't want to do that. And for me, I'm just in a much better place. Even though I'm like 20 something and I'm unable to do the things that I've been wanting to do, like travel and try out new stuff, go on adventures and all that. I'm stuck here. You'd think that I'd be super depressed and all that, but you know what? Uh, I'm just so content with my life. Like, I'm not just saying that para magpa-epal sa mga iba. No, 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 no. Like, again, if you guys are still not where I am, okay lang, because we're gonna get there. I know you're gonna get there, all right? And it doesn't mean I'm free from struggles. Like, there are days where I'm tired, there are days where I'm drained, there are days where I'm like, why the heck did I get into this situation? I still have those once in a while, but the overall mood for me is just contentment and just really gratefulness that we're all still here, we're all still alive, and eventually naman things are gonna normalize, guys. Like, tiwala lang. I don't wanna sound toxic positive, but I just believe things are gonna head to the right direction. We don't see it now, of course, but it's bound to happen, guys. You gotta trust yourselves, and you gotta trust the man upstairs. You gotta trust one another. We right gotta help one another. But yeah, going back to the whole uh being stuck in your family's place when the 20s is the time to be independent and all. Like, y someday you're gonna leave this nest. That's the sad, but that's the inevitable truth. You're gonna leave this nest. So, while we want to rush that process, I promise y'all, you're gonna miss the time here. You are super gonna miss home once it's time to go. You just don't know it now, but mark my words, guys. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I wanted to disclose. I know it's super random, super wala lang tong episode. And I don't even know where I'm going, but yeah, I guess that's gonna cap it off. I don't wanna keep you guys here for too long, and I wanna try going for less than an hour from now on. It's gonna be tough because you know how dal-dal ako, even though I'm an introvert, right? And it depends also on the guests that I have. And hopefully we can get guests again. We're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. But yeah, happy 1 year, guys, and we might have a special Roro episode because it's just super random. But we're gonna talk more about this season anytime soon. So hopefully you guys keep tuned in. Once again, I'm super sorry if I'm not consistent anymore with my uploads. We hope we can pick it back up soon. But like I said, I have a life. Uh, but I miss doing this. I miss doing these pods, and I want to have fun again with the thing that I love doing most. And yeah. So like I said, no script, no intro, no outro, no promotions. This is pretty much it. I just wanted to give my few cents on life in general, and I know this isn't live, but you guys can continue commenting below, and hopefully these will be out on the other platforms. You guys know where it is naman by now. Any last words for me? Well, just stay safe, stay sane, check up on your friends once in a while. Never forget to love your families always, no matter what your differences are. Sort that out because y'all are gonna miss them when they're gone. That's for sure. That is for sure. So yeah, that's about it. Super duper random stuff. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. If I'm making sense, I do hope you guys were able to tune in, and I'll see you guys on the next one, I guess, whenever that may be. So stay safe, guys. Stay tuned in, by the way. Hopefully, we can pick up where we left off. Hopefully, I have a more fixed and uniform schedule. We're gonna figure that out. And bye bye, guys. Peace.